Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about breastfeeding / pumping supplies. I have breastfed my daughter and I'm currently breastfeeding my son. And so I'm going to be sharing with you guys a few things that have helped my breastfeeding journey or my pumping journey. And I think that you guys could benefit from this information. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start with our pumps. So I think it's a good idea to have a variety of pumps. This is an electric pump. So I think you'll need an electric pump that as like your base. And then I also like to have a manual pump. So I had a manual pump with my daughter, but I couldn't figure out how to use it until I actually had my son. And now I actually love my manual pump. The other pump that I use is an electric hands-free pump. And I'll try to put like pictures and things over here for you guys to kind of give you guys some reference. But I do like having the hands-free electric pump because sometimes if I'm sleeping or it's in the middle of the night and I need a pump, I can just put them in my bra and kind of just sit up like this and pump for a little bit. You know, granted that I don't fall over or, you know, get too deep into sleep, or if I'm just sitting on the couch, I can also pump as well. One thing that I also want to mention is that if you have health insurance, check with your insurance carrier to see if they can provide you with a breast pump. I know that that was such a blessing for me as well, and it saves you money. You know, hey, if you're already paying into this insurance plan, heck yeah, I definitely want a free breast pump. So call your carrier to see if they provide that service for you as well. The next thing that I think that you guys will need are these hakas. So while your baby is feeding on one side, you can put one of these on the other side to collect the milk. Because fun fact, I don't know if you knew this or not, but when your baby is drinking the milk, or if you're pumping, milk does not just come from one side, it comes from both sides, which I did not know that until I had children. So this is also a great way to build up your milk stash as well, so that way it is not being wasted while your baby is feeding on the other side. Or I know some women that strictly just use hakas as their pump, and that's it. They don't have an electric pump, they just put these on as their pumps. The next thing that I use are these milk collectors, and these are collectors that you can just put in your bra to collect any extra milk, so that way it's not being wasted and being soaked up by the nursing pad. So I like to wear these if I'm out running errands, or if I'm just doing stuff around the house, or like if we have company over, I can just put these in my bra, and that way I can still collect some milk in a discreet-ish way. So milk collectors. So what you're gonna need is a nursing bra, so that way you can easily whip your breast out to feed the baby. And then if you are pumping, you're going to need a pumping bra. I like to use the strapless ones, I guess you could say. And I just put the pumps through here and do it that way. So you need a pumping bra to hold your pumps in place. Next, what you'll need is some nipple cream. So when I had my daughter, I would pump, and no one had told me that I needed nipple cream, and so I would just be pumping without any nipple cream. And I told my boss, I'm like, she was also a breastfeeding mother, and she was like, you need some nipple cream because your nipple shouldn't feel that way. So imagine like your nipples going back and forth on the pump, and it's just friction. Yeah, so it was very painful. So make sure you have some nipple cream to lubricate your nipples and to lubricate the pump. What I've started doing, like literally as of yesterday or either today, is I'll put the nipple cream on my nipples, and then also I'll put it around the flange. I'll put the nipple cream around the flange as well too, just to make sure that we are extra lubricated. Okay, so along with nipple care, these are things that I use. I don't use them a whole lot. But if there is an issue where my nipples are maybe inflamed or they're hurting, I'll put these in the freezer, and then I'll put these on my nipples to kind of give me a little bit of comfort, basically. And this just these little gel packs. I actually got my first pack from the hospital when I first had my daughter, and they gave me these. So they're just these little gel packs. You put them in the freezer, and then you can put them on your nipples to help soothe them. Another thing that I use, but I don't use too frequently unless there's an issue, is these silverettes. And so according to the website, silver has an antimicrobial, I think fungal or bacterial properties. And so you're supposed to put these on your nipples to kind of help soothe them. When me and my son both had thrush, he had thrush and I had thrush on my nipples, I use these, put these in the freezer, and then put them on my nipples to kind of give me some comfort. Another thing that I like are these gel packs. And they are like this, and you can put them in the microwave. And I like to put them on my breasts to loosen up some of the milk. Or you can put them in the freezer if, you know, you're having an issue and you need, like your breasts are hot or anything and you need to soothe them. You can put them in the freezer as well. But what I like to do is while I'm pumping, I'll put this around the flange. So it's kind of heated like that. And then I'll pump that way. So that way I have the combination of the heat to kind of loosen up some of that milk. Another alternative of what you can do is make your own warm compress. And what this is it's 2 socks sewn together. You can use just fabric if you want, but I chose to sew together 2 clean socks. And then on the inside are raw beans and rice. You don't have to mix them. You can use one or the other. I just used both because I didn't have enough of each kind. And then I put like some essential oils, and then I put this in the microwave, and I'll put it on my breast while I pump, or I don't even have to be pumping, but I'll just put it on my breast just to loosen up the milk. And I've made this when I was pregnant with my daughter, so I've had this 2 years. Of course, keep it clean and do not get it wet. So this is a way you can do a DIY warm compress. Ooh, another thing that I like is this lactation massager. And what you do is it helps just kind of loosen up any clogged milk ducts and get the milk loose. So I like that, and I like to go underneath the breast as well. But the best combination I feel is to have the warm compress sitting on your breast, and then also while you're pumping or while you're feeding is to have this milk massager. So that way you get the warm compress to loosen up the milk, and then you get the massager to kind of help move it down. But this is not going to make or break your breastfeeding journey at all. You can always just use your hands and kind of just massage it down, because I will also do that too if I'm at work. Another thing that you're going to need are milk storage bags. So you'll use these to, like when you collect your express milk, you'll put the milk in a bag and then store it in the freezer or put it in the refrigerator. So yeah, milk storage bags. What you'll also need are some nipple pads, so that way you don't leak through your clothing. So I have tons of these. I have the disposable ones, and then I also have, I think I have the reusable ones somewhere. I normally like to use the disposable ones for if I'm at work, so I can just throw them away, and then I'll use the reusable ones for when I'm at home. I can put them in the wash, but it really doesn't matter. I like to use both for different situations. Next thing that I like to have is this Mandela Quick Clean Breast Pump and Accessory Sanitizer. My boss, or my ex-boss, put me onto this. So you spray your pump parts with these, or things like that, so you can sanitize baby bottles, breast pumps, breast pump parts. I like to use this as a quick sanitizer. And then I also like these wet wipes as well. So I will use these if I'm at work. and maybe I don't feel like going down to the staff lounge, I'll use these to sanitize and wipe down my parts. Another thing that I like to use, I don't use it often, but it's this breast milk removal soap. Now, you can just use regular dish soap, but sometimes the breast milk residue is kind of hard to get off sometimes. So I like to use this. They have like a special formula to get it off. So you can use these to clean your bottles and breast pump parts and accessories, things of that nature. Oh, another thing that I like and that has helped save my nipples are these nipple shields. And so I like to use this if I'm experiencing some discomfort. Like I said, me and my son had thrush at one point. If you ever had thrush on your nipples, yeah, it hurts. So these are just a protective barrier that you can wear over your nipples while baby is feeding. So it kind of helps prevent baby. Or reduce damage on your nipples. Okay. I'm trying to think. Supplements that I like to take. So I like to make my own lactation cookies. I just find that it's cheaper. Of course, now if somebody buys them for me, yes, I will still take them. But I like to use brewer's yeast. It's brewer's yeast. I have to kind of slow it down to say it. But that is a good way to increase your milk supply. Another thing I like to use is the Milk Flow fenugreek-free supplement. I think I have a picture of it, so I'll kind of put it here somewhere. But absolutely love that stuff. That has increased my milk supply by a lot. And, also, you will need a big jug of water. I have a 64-ounce jug of water that I drink from all the time. The 20-ounce water bottles do not cut it for me anymore. So make sure you have a big jug of water to keep you hydrated, because remember, your body's not going to produce breast milk if you're dehydrated. Another thing you want to have is snacks on hand as well. You need to make sure that you're eating enough for your baby. And I'm preaching to myself because sometimes I don't eat enough. Another thing that I want to add that I love is the My Breast Friend breastfeeding pillow. I like the fact that it snaps in the back and you can adjust it. I had a C-section with both of my kids, and so it was nice to adjust it and not have like the pillow sitting on my C-section scar. There's also a little hump for the baby to lay their head on, and then there is a little pocket on the side, and I used to keep like my nipple shields in there, or maybe like some snacks or little pieces of candy or gum in there as well. So that's another thing that I would add is the My Breast Friend pillow. I think the last thing I would say is like a breastfeeding supplies-ish is just to have like a bag or a cart to put all of these things in. And another piece of advice that I have is to make sure that you have enough chargers and that you have enough or multiples of your breast parts, and to make sure that you're changing them out regularly. And a nursing cover as well. So if you're on pelvic, of course you don't have to, but I like to use a nursing cover as well sometimes, like if I'm at church or something, or I mean, it's not too big of a deal, but sometimes if you're wearing a tighter shirt, it's kind of hard to get it up and get your baby under it. So if you just put on the nursing cover, it kind of helps with that. I think that is all that I have for my breastfeeding supplies. Let me do a quick thing. I think I talked about everything. But yeah, if you have something or a piece of advice that you want to put down in the comments, feel free to do so. If you have any questions, write them in the comment section. And yeah, I think that's all that I have for the breastfeeding supplies that I like and that I use regularly. One thing that I wanted to add is that I did write a blog post about all the supplies that I mentioned in this video. So if you want more of an in-depth list of the breastfeeding supplies that I mentioned in this video, head on over to my blog so that way you can look at the list and get more of an explanation as to the supplies that I use. But other than that, I hope that this helps, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Alrighty, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.